Hey guys, I just wanted to say that I am going to do another attempt at giving away Dark Magical Circle because the person that I did it through, or, that won the contest last time, did not respond. So if you want a chance at winning Dark Magical Circle, all you have to do is make a response to this video in the comments down below of how you think is the best way to bring Dark Magician Girl back to competitive gameplay. And just follow it with the hashtag Topher giveaway, and you will have a chance at winning Dark Magical Circle. The only thing is you have to have it in before the 31st. I will pick a winner on the 1st of next month. So without further ado, let's get this video started. What's up, YouTube? It is me, Topher Crost, here to talk to you about something that I've been wanting to make a video on for a little while now and just haven't had a chance to until now. Today is the first day I've gotten to sit down, so here it is. I've been noticing that I've been trying to build a deck profile with Dark Magician Girl in it. All of you want the deck profile with Dark Magician Girl in it, and I'm trying to keep my deck, decently competitive while I'm doing so. So it's a deck that you could go out and play, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you're using Dark Magician Girl, that's cool, stuff like that. But so far, I'm not having a lot of luck, and I started to look into it because Dark Magician Girl has a lot of good support cards. I mean, she has Dark Burning Magic, Dark Burning Attack, I had to remember. Anyway, so she has like all those really good support cards, and she has like her own little archetype now, and that's all cool. But for some reason, she still seems kind of slow, and I started playing around, and she kept, I kept messing up, and she kept coming up at the wrong times, and then I realized she has great support, but she's just not a great card herself. And having great support is one thing if you're building an entire deck around a card, but if you're trying to, use that card to support another card, like for instance, if I use Dark Magician Girl, I'd most likely be trying to support Dark Magician. So she's very bricky, and bricky means that she slows the deck down. She kills deck flow. She was still pretty useful before the arrival of Apprentice Illusion Magician, because Dark Magician still had some, it was like okay support, and you would never special summon on the first turn and that kind of stuff. And she was really, she was decent to have in the deck at the time as a placeholder, or because you had a couple extra slots to throw her and then Dark Burning Magic in. Stuff like that, because you always were, with Magician's Navigation, you could always have her and Dark Magician out on the field. So but she's very, very, very bricky, and again, what I mean by that is you always like draw into her in the wrong time. She doesn't really ever come out. You very rarely use her. Even in an Eye of Timaeus build deck, I don't ever really use Dark Magician Girl. It just never really happens. It never comes up. I barely even use Eye of Timaeus anymore. Because of how, bricky it is, but I can play Eye of Timaeus in my deck. In fact, I like Eye of Timaeus, and as soon as I get a handle on this link summoning, Dark Magician gets a little more, like, maybe support in the link summoning department. I'll start using Eye of Timaeus again, because as it stands right now, the best way to build a Dark Magician deck for link summoning is to not use your extra deck all that much, which is fine. It's kind of the best part about Dark Magician is it really isn't affected too much by link summoning format. I'm actually working on a deck right now. Hopefully I'll have a deck profile up for you guys soon. But so I started thinking, how can we bring Dark Magician Girl back to the metagame, or even just to have in a deck to be useful again? Because it's really nice to have Dark Magician Girl in your deck, especially with like Dark Burning Magic and stuff like that, and Dark Burning Magic isn't a card that's hard to get out because it's searchable. Dark Magician Girl, on the other hand, is not. The only way to get Dark Magician Girl out is with just Magician's Navigation. So I thought of a way to, she'd probably be better in the deck. A lot of other cards have gotten like effect changes over the years. Most of the time it's because, like for instance with Brain Control, it needed kind of a nerf, to be able to be played in the in any format, stuff like that. But I thought if they can do that, then why can't they just update old fan favorite cards like Dark Magician Girl or Lord of D or something like that, older cards that people used to use all the time and they don't use anymore. And Dark Magician Girl used to be on the, back in the day, very, very high on that list of cards that people would use. And I thought about it, and I'm like, well, you know, we should look at each of these cards individually. You know, each of them should be evaluated, and each of them should be given a good effect, because we're coming out with all these new cards, and new cards are great, but we're just kind of leaving all these old cards in the dust that really deserve, you know, a second chance, that are decent for decks, but, you know, that are missing something, that slow the deck down. And unless you're playing casual, you'll never get to use these cards. See these cards, and Dark Magician Girl is one of these cards. And so I decided, I thought about it, and I thought, well, what would make her good? What would make her good again? And I would think that her effect, as it stands, is pretty good. You get 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos that's in your graveyard. That's really good effect. Okay, I like that. But what can we do to make her more, you know, less bricky? And it's simple. What I would recommend is an effect somewhere to the tune of, like, say, discard, like just like a second effect on the card. Just discard this card and pay 1,000 life points. Draw a card. So you discard Dark Magician Girl because you didn't need her in your hand to draw a card. Another thing that would help Dark Magician Girl, besides that effect, which, you know, I really think would help Dark Magician Girl, because, I mean, even if you drew into it, you know, and it was bad, you know, you could get rid of it. Not to mention, if somebody, that's 3 draw power. People would probably run 3 of them, or 2 to 3 of them, because you have to pay 1,000 life points, but still, you'd run 2 to 3 Dark Magician Girls again just for that, and then you can start using her support and stuff, with Magician's Navigation. You know, having her in your deck would be fantastic. I mean, you'd always need her for something. But that would be very, very, very good to have. You know, she would go from being one of the least played cards in a Dark Magician deck to one of the most played cards in a Dark Magician deck, just with that effect. And you might be thinking that effect's overpowered or something like that, but not really. You're paying, you know, 1/8 of your life points, an effect that you couldn't even use towards the end of the game, most likely to save yourself, and you're discarding the card to the graveyard, the Dark Magician card to the girl card to the graveyard. Now, this is where I think another way to help her be better. Cards that specifically search her, magic cards that specifically search her from the deck. And what I mean by that, and to the field, what I mean by that is, like, a good way to do this is just kind of off the top of my head. Like, say you had Dark Magician on the field, so the card, like, basically a backward Sage of Stone. You have Dark Magician on the field, you pop reverse Sage Stone, you know, and then you get Dark Magician Girl on the field with Dark Magician. So basically, with reverse Sage of Stone, you get Dark Magician Girl on the field once you have a Dark Magician, instead of Sage of Stone, where you have to have a Dark Magician Girl on the field, and then you get Dark Magician, which isn't as useful. But those are just some ways that I've you know, been thinking. Like, another effect that would be pretty good for Dark Magician Girl to have, maybe not necessarily a draw effect, but if you discard this card into the graveyard, you could special summon her from the graveyard. That would be cool if she gets sent to the graveyard, kind of like the Light Swarm Beast monster. That's basically just, I can't remember his name. I think his name might actually be Light Swarm Beast or something like that, but you send him to the graveyard, he gets to come back. That would be a really cool effect. A lot of Dark Magician decks, especially with Apprentice Illusion Magician, you discard, you know, so that would be another good effect to get her onto the field. Still would be a little more bricky that way, but it would still make her more relevant to play. Just a little update to her effect, that's all she needs to come back. But what do you think? What do you think? I'd love to discuss this with you guys. You know, some things that you would like to do for Dark Magician Girl, maybe, and some other cards, you know, to bring them back to the competitive game. Not even if they're meta, you know, or anything like that. You know, like, they're not the best of the best, they're not tier 1, but, you know, just some effects to bring them back. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will be down in there talking to you guys in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Topher Crost out.